All right. Thank y'all so much for coming in. We're so excited for today's webinar with Dr. Nicole Swiner, who is one of our very own. She is one of the Black Girl Vitamins medical advisor, and she has all the knowledge that we all need. And I can't wait till she come on and share that knowledge with us all. I see you, Miss Deborah and Miss Mina. All right. All right, I'm gonna give it about one more minute, then I'm gonna do the official introduction for Dr. Swiner, and then we'll get into the webinar. And I saw Miss Linda over there. She was clapping it up. I saw her. You are so excited, Miss Linda Evans. We are so excited for you to be here. I see your beautiful face as well. And that beautiful smile.
You have to smile, honey. Mm-hmm.
I know that's right.
Good morning. Looking fabulous. Thanks to you and your vitamins.
Okay, I know that's right.
Ooh, got me feeling like I'm 25.
I know that. Okay, 25. Yes, ma'am.
I'm not 25, but it's got me feeling like I'm 25.
Oh, look, you are 25 then on the inside. How about that? All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I did an introduction of Dr. Nicole Swiner, who is one of Black Girl Vitamins medical advisors. She is amazing. She is very knowledgeable, and this is what she went to school for. So we are getting a free doctor visit. Like I tell everybody every time I'm over a webinar, we are getting a free doctor visit. So let's go ahead and get into it, Miss Dr. Swiner.
Hey y'all, how are y'all doing? So good to see you, see the excitement in the chat. I love it. I love it. I love it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully your summer is getting started off on a good note. It's not officially summer yet, but once Memorial Day holiday passes, we all feel like the summertime is here. So let's talk about how to stay beautiful and glowing up and all of those things and being joyful and all that for the summer. So I'm really happy to be here. All right.
All right. So we'll get into it. I'll ask the first question. It is, how do hormonal changes during menopause affect hair texture, dryness, or breakage, especially in the summer heat?
Yes. Oh, and one thing I always like to do, which I haven't done yet, is if we haven't met yet, I'm Doc Swiner. I'm a board certified family physician. So I see everybody in the family, take care of everybody from start to finish, from cradle to grave. I hate saying that, but from start to finish, everybody in the middle, all the babies, all the women, all the, families together that make up family medicine. And we talk about whatever it is preventative health that we need, chronic medical illness or chronic medical issues, mental health, women's health, all that good. Mental health is big. So I talk about all of those things. And so I like to kind of introduce myself as that so you know my background. And as a disclaimer, any of these things, particularly if they affect you personally and you have very specific questions, everybody's medical history is different. Everything will be different for everyone's different bodies and makeup. So please always make sure you check in with your own primary care physicians, your own personal physicians to make sure things are safe and apply to you. So I always like to give that disclaimer as well, just for, safety and liability purposes. But to answer the question, hormonal changes. So menopause, perimenopause, before it's happening, as it's happening, after your menopause phase has kicked in, which by definition is a year without a menstrual cycle. Even before then, you can start to feel the changes, right? Or the change is what we call it in the colloquial world. So that can come with a lot of different things, but the biggest change that happens is a severe drop of estrogen, which is the main, quote, female hormone. And with that, everything is dry, like the Sahara. Everything. Everything is dry, right? From top to bottom. So skin on the outside is dry, membranes on the inside get dry, your hair gets brittle, your nails get fray. All those things happen, unfortunately. The good news is there are natural, and then of course there are pharmaceutical ways that you can help those things to not be so bad. So if you're looking for things from the natural side, of course, we're always talking about vitamins and wellness and nutrition here. But if you're looking for things that help, particularly with things like hair texture or just dryness in general, you can look for things over the counter or at your vitamin stores or clearly on Black Girl Vitamins website that have to do with replenishing things like vitamin A and E because those things will help replenish the body. Collagen certainly helps in terms of hair, skin, and nails. Biotin, right? Those things. And I'm getting to the treatment part, but we'll get into how those things help later. But anything that helps to increase your hydration and your moisture is going to help with your hair growth and your hair texture. So you want to make sure that you're hydrating and keeping your water content up from the inside out because it's not just what we slap on our hair on the outside, it's about what we're putting in our bodies on the inside. So that was a long answer for that question. But clearly, in the heat, it's going to be worse because we're going to sweat out the moisture that we're trying to put in the body. The summer, although you think of sweat and oil, actually comes with more dry heat as well. So that makes it harder for us to keep our hair protected from that. So that's how all of that kind of works together.
Would you say the same answer for post menopause as well?
Absolutely. Because that estrogen just doesn't come back. The estrogen doesn't come back. And so we have to replenish ourselves in other ways. Or if it's really, really bad, of course, there's hormone replacement therapy, both from a natural bioidentical hormone standpoint, and then, of course, a pharmaceutical hormone standpoint. There are ways to replace the estrogen itself. But if you don't necessarily want to do that, then you have to help it in other ways organically.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. And y'all, in the midst of us going through it, could y'all like list some different topics y'all would want us to talk about in the future for webinars as well? And then I'll get into the next question. Can protective styles really help prevent damage during the summer, or do they sometimes cause more stress on the scalp?
So yes and no on both ends. So protective styles when it comes to twists and braids or wigs or things of that nature clearly help us to not use as many chemicals and heat on our hair and hair follicles. But the pulling that can happen, if your synthetic hair is too damaging, there's been a lot of reports out now that people are allergic to certain types of synthetic hair. So if you're not getting the right kind of hair or you're pulling your edges too tightly, that can be just as damaging as curling it with a curling iron every day or putting a relaxer in it, right? So the less stress on the hair, the better. So twists or knotless braids tend to be a little bit less heavy on the pulling to keep your hair protected. Or if you want to, do the big chop, for the summer because it's hot and you don't want to have to worry about putting a whole bunch of extra stuff on your head. Keeping it naturally curly is really great, a great way to protect it. Maybe not if you're a relaxer lady like me, I'm trying to do more safe type of, relaxers now with all the reports that are coming out. But if you are a relaxer lady like me, keeping it short so that you don't have to get a relaxer as often or using this, particular types of relaxers or just not having a relaxer at all for the summer, letting your hair rest is really helpful. But yeah, the more you pull on it, even if you're wearing a natural, your natural hair, but you're pulling it all the time in a ponytail or you're adding a lot of heat, you're pressing it out to straighten it, that can cause a lot of damage to your hair follicles, your edges, your scalp. So the less stress both internally and externally that you can put on your hair for the summer, the better.
Thank you. I love a good knotless braids. That's my thing.
I love it for I have two girls at home. We do that a lot too. Either that or just 2-strand twists.
Yes, it's so different from the braids we used to get back in the day with
right.
the knot at the front. Oh my gosh, they used to kill me so much.
Right.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so are there specific vitamins or supplements that support healthy hair growth and moisture retention during menopause?
Yes. So I already kind of gave some of the answers away earlier when I was talking about just keeping your skin or keeping yourself more moisturized and all that during menopause. But A&E is always going to be a good base for any type of thing that you're putting onto your skin. Skin on the scalp, skin on the face. But if you want to take something to help support healthy hair growth on the inside, iron, zinc, B6, and B12. Those are the big four that in the literature support helping the hair follicles from the inside to have less breakage, more healthy growth, more retention. So it holds on to that stuff better. So those are the big four: iron, zinc, B6, and B12.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Why does summer feel like it makes menopause symptoms like hot flashes and fatigue even worse?
Because it's hot. Period. It's hot. And if you're, living in places like where Ladisha's from, and Louisiana and Mississippi and South Carolina, it's hot and it's humid, right? And you would think humidity means moisture in the air, so that's good, right? No, it's suffocating. It's suffocating. So, yes, hot flashes can be triggered by lots of things, particularly heat. So I think later we're going to talk about how we try to combat that or what things can help you from feeling so hot all the time. But it's what we call hot flashes are called vasomotor symptoms, which means vaso means your vessels, your blood vessels usually generally constrict, right? So they get tight, and that makes it hot and tense and hot. Right. So those of us in my age group, unless you're suffering unfortunately from menopausal symptoms at an early age, we have those flashes. I carry fans in my purse all the time now because it is what it is. But yeah, the summer can be really traumatic for those of us that are going through the change, unfortunately, just because it triggers those things to happen.
Yeah, it's definitely hot here, ladies. I think
Mhm.
people in the North and the Midwest were still wearing shorts when we were wearing shorts out here. So
Whew, I'm telling
it's
you.
hot.
It is. North Carolina is getting hot too. Oh, shout out to my folks in North Carolina. I'm here in Durham, North Carolina. I like to shout out North Carolina always.
Yes, North Carolina. What's the connection between heat sweating and hormonal weight gain during menopause?
Yes, I thought about this question. It's a good question. I tried to make a direct connection and correlation. I couldn't put all the pieces together in one straight line per se, but I could see how one thing can kind of indirectly affect the other. So, if it's hot outside, I can't say that just by that, that being what's happening in the environment that will cause weight gain. But certainly, who wants to go outside and take a walk or run, if it's 90, 100 degrees outside, right? That suffocating, exhaustive kind of heat. So the less we're outside and running for exercise, of course, the less activity we have and the more, apt we are to gaining weight. The other thing that can happen is even though, again, you think it's hot, I'm sweating, so what, like, hot yoga or you're in the sauna, some folks unfortunately are more apt to swell. So even though you're sweating and you're getting moisture out, it also can cause you to swell. Water weight, right? That can cause weight gain. So balancing your fluids and your electrolytes, it can be a big deal when it comes to managing the right kind of water. You want to have enough hydration in your body that you're using the bathroom often and you have a nice, yellow color to your urine. It's not gold or rusty. You want to have that's a good way a good kind of rule of thumb to making sure you're well hydrated is your pee is a very light yellow. That means you're drinking enough water, but you also don't want to swell too much or eat too much salt, or if the heat causes you to swell, hold on to so much water that it actually adds pounds on the scale because that can happen. So, it's a hard balance. If you notice that you are gaining lots of weight, you're having the same routine, you're drinking the same amount of water, which of course during the summer you should have more of, or even, consider doing things. I have a wellness practice that I include that has IV hydration treatments in it. So if you're into that, that helps you to stay hydrated, but it goes right to the organs and doesn't just end up like in your legs or in your arm, in swollen areas. But if you're having trouble with your weight and you see that your weight is going up and you're maintaining the same routine or doing all the good things, then of course talk to your doctor and make sure there aren't other things in play that are making it harder for you to maintain your normal weight.
Gotcha. You ladies are welcome to ask questions in the chat as well. I'll get to as many as I can, and then we'll have a opportunity at the end as well for you to ask those questions. So I think somebody had a question earlier. They stated that they have taken hair, skin, and nail vitamins for years, and they haven't seen the results, and they've consulted with their doctor. So I'm not sure if she doesn't know what to do or what have you, but that is a question that's in the chat. Dr. Swiner, can you assist with this?
Yeah, so I guess it depends on what you're taking it for. Are you taking it because you're hoping to increase your hair growth, or you have thinning, or you have brittle nails and you're hoping that that will help? So it all depends, number one, on what you're hoping to get out of it and what you're taking it for, number one. Number two, are you taking enough? It all depends on how much, or how many milligrams or units of biotin or B6 and B12 you're taking, is it enough? Are you deficient and you actually need more of it? Number three, vitamins aren't necessarily going to fix everything. Sometimes a lot of things, particularly when it comes to alopecia or losing your hair, there are many different reasons why we have bald spots or we have general thinning or we have receding hairlines. It's a lot of different reasons for that. Stress, both internal, external, autoimmune stuff, thyroid stuff. So it may not be because you're lacking the vitamins, and that's why the vitamins aren't helping. It may be because you have, another type of thing that needs to be replaced or addressed before, you slap on the vitamins. So number one, I would always go, talk to your physician, make sure you're getting your hormone levels checked, your thyroid level, your TSH, your B12, you can check all your vitamin levels you can check so that you can say, okay, well, my B12 and my iron and my thyroid are perfect. So I actually don't need to be taking a whole lot of these extra vitamins because that's not the issue. It's something else.
Thank you, Dr. Swanner.
Yes.
Okay, so the next question is, how can we enjoy summer foods and cookouts without triggering bloating or weight gain?
Oh
Ooh,
boy, yeah, this is a good one.
that's
We all look forward to those cookouts, right? Having some food off the grill outside, getting some good potato salad, all that good stuff, having some cocktails, etc. We all know all that stuff is just extra. It's extra salt, it's extra sugar, it's extra calories, right? So, you know, treat yourself. You're gonna go have fun. I guess it's what you do outside of that time that you can maybe adjust and shift so that you can go and enjoy and just have a cheat day, right? When you go out to the cookouts. Or if you're really concerned, make sure that you're choosing the right types of things when you're there. So, for instance, if there's an option between a turkey burger and a regular ground beef, if you can grab a turkey burger, if you can tolerate it, eat that instead. Or if there's seafood available versus, the heavy red meats, pick the seafood because that's going to be less cholesterol for you. The more vegetables and fruits you can fill up on your plate, the better, because then that, gives you less space for the bad stuff to fill up. One tactic that I know we do culturally, at least in my house, if I know that we're like going out for a big exciting meal or it's a holiday or it's a brunch, we'll skip breakfast because we want to save some space, right? We want to be nice and hungry. Don't do that. Then you'll just overdo it when you get there. Have a small snack, have a small meal before you leave the house, then go and enjoy your meal so that you're not overeating. And watch your portions. The last thing that I'll say is making sure you're drinking enough water and avoiding those sugary, caffeinated, excessively heavily alcohol beverages because that's added on sugar, right? Empty sugar calories is what we call it. And the more water you drink before your meal, I know some people that religiously drink a glass full of water, even add some lemon to it before they start eating because they know that that's going to help them control their portion as they eat. So those are just some tricks. So trying to, in general, not skip the meals, right? Make sure you have a small little meal before you go out and have the big meal. And then you want to make sure that you're avoiding the heavily salted, heavily sugary things as much as you can. But again, enjoy yourself. It's the summer, treat yourself. Just come back the next day and get back to your normal routine and try to eat healthy around it. So, I don't want to restrict you too much because, what fun is that?
That method is really a good method. I really use it. I'll like drink a glass of water, or if I have a juice or something like that, because I rarely drink sodas. I
That's
do that
good.
before I eat, and I'm full within like the first few bites. So it really
Okay.
does.
And then you
Yeah.
can take leftovers home and eat it tomorrow.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Um, Someone asked what shampoo should they be using for 4C coil hair shampoo, conditioner, and moisturizer during menopause and the hair thinning. And
That's a good question. So, I'm not a dermatologist, by the way. We think skin when we think of skin doctors, dermatology, but they are also experts in hair and nails and all the things external. So, it all depends on your personal makeup, right? I also would encourage you if you can find a Black female dermatologist, especially one that is trained specifically in hair. I have some folks that I know in my Facebook world, in the medical world, that are Black female board certified dermatologists, but also have a cosmetology license or are trained in hair care so that they can give you very specific recommendations when it comes to the type of hair you have. So I always recommend trying to find a Black female if you can. But in general, I think it all depends on the type of, do you have any scalp conditions that then also have to be taken into account? Because I could say use Head and Shoulders, but that doesn't mean everybody needs it. Or I could say make sure you have a nice creamy conditioner that you leave on, right? Or you have these oils that you leave on and wash out. But everybody's hair texture and skin condition is different. So my option would be find you a good dermatologist that can actually look at your hair follicles and tell you what things you're lacking so that you can use them and not wasting your money with all the over-counter stuff. Or make sure you have a really, really good. I have a great cosmetologist. My cosmetologist knows all about healthy hair. She knows all about the changes that are happening. She can tell me I'm deficient in something before I know it. She knew that as I was having my children, she knew to tell me 3 months postpartum, your edges are going to thin out. So you need to make sure you're doing this and they're going to come back and don't worry. She was really well educated on that. So make sure you have a wonderful cosmetologist, uh, even in the natural hair world, that can tell you about your specific condition. And if you need further help, make sure you have a really well-trained dermatologist that knows about trichology, which is the study of hair.
that's good. Like,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
How do hydration, nutrition, and supplements work together to help manage menopause symptoms like mood swings, fatigue, and craving in the summers?
Yeah, I think it's all about just regularity. I think someone in the chat mentioned something about intermittent fasting. So if you can see that comment, read it to me again so I can kind of add that in. But regularity and consistency. So if you're going to intermittent fast, then stick with that. You can't intermittent fast 2 or 3 days and then eat all that you want without with reckless abandon the other days and expect for you to have consistency in what your body needs and your energy level. If you're skipping breakfast a lot and you're not really used to skipping breakfast, your body's going to feel depleted. You're going to have fatigue. My teenager, we just went for her regular checkup, and she was like, "Why do I feel dizzy sometimes?" And I was like, "She's going to say exactly what mommy has told you, but it's because she's skipping breakfast because she wasn't hungry, right? Or she wasn't drinking water until like the middle of the day, especially during the summer. You're waking up late, so you've missed breakfast. So consistency and regularity is key. You want to also make sure that not only are you hydrating, right? So you're drinking the water, you're avoiding the caffeine, avoiding all the stuff that will dry you out, like caffeine and alcohol. You're replenishing with water. You want to make sure you do that, but you also are moisturizing. So you want to hydrate internally and then externally with good moisture, good moisturization. So your grandma always told you about petroleum jelly. Definitely culturally, that's something that is very helpful, keeps us looking young, keeps us hydrated. of course, if you put on too much, it's going to be hot. But if we put on a thin layer, especially at night, put on a thin layer of petroleum jelly, that's going to help hydrate your skin on the outside. Coconut oil, not too much though, because if you use too much, it actually can clog your pores and clog your hair follicles. Bio oil is a personal favorite. I don't get any kickback from them. I'm definitely not sponsored by them, but bio oil is one that I found recently that has a lot of good, like lavender and organic things that are really good for hydrating the skin, gives you a nice little glow, but it's light. So it doesn't feel like it's too hot when you go outside. So hydrating from the inside and moisturizing on the outside is going to prevent general dryness. And then making sure you're eating regularly, getting your good fruits and vegetables. Summertime is always a great time for just to remind us of the wonderful fruits and vegetables that are available. Making sure what I've tried to do personally is eat a salad every day. So whether it's my lunch salad or I'm eating it with dinner, just to make sure I'm getting some leafy greens and some fruits in every day to keep my nutrition going. Someone said castor oil. Castor oil, I don't attribute castor oil as much to moisture as I do internal health. So castor oil, the good old days, the elders were giving us castor oil to keep us from getting sick or to keep your digestive systems regular and flushed out. If you want to try castor oil externally, you can. I would just be careful. Like I tell pregnant women, sometimes we use castor oil to help induce pregnancy because it gets things moving. So just be careful. You don't want to use too much if you're not using it for the digestive properties or, the things that help to your increase your immune system.
I think the question that someone asked about the intermittent, you told me to go back to it. Is it okay to do it during menopause?
It is, unless you start to feel bad. So if you're doing intermittent fasting where you're skipping, you're going 15 to 18 hours without eating, if you're waking up in the morning feeling miserable, then it's not worth it. But if you can tolerate it and you can hydrate and you can last until it's time for you to eat, then theoretically it should be okay. So it's all about how your body reacts to it and responds to it.
Gotcha. Okay, so which vitamins or supplements are most important for women in menopause during the summer, especially for boosting energy, supporting metabolism, and keeping skin and hair healthy?
Yeah, so those big four I mentioned before: iron, zinc, B6, and B12. Someone mentioned hair, skin, and nail vitamins. That has a lot of biotin, which is, let me rack my brain, B7. Don't quote me on that. I think it's B7. But there are a lot of different B vitamins, and biotin is one of them. So you want to make sure, so biotin, actually, there's been some controversy coming up recently about it, not really doing what we want it to do, or particularly for those that have like thyroid dysfunction. You want to be careful with how much biotin you take because it actually block the action of your thyroid. But in general, the Bs are good, particularly B6 and B12 for this question, and iron and zinc. Those are the big ones.
Thank you. We have a great question that I often get, and it's I understand that vitamins should not be a replacement for getting nutrients from eating. With that said, I'm concerned about when to take certain vitamins in what combination with food, without, etc. So if you could give like a rundown, I guess, of some basic vitamins of what time to take them and which ones are, I think you say soluble that you can take with food or without food.
In general, what I tell every patient every time they ask me, and also the same goes for just medications in general, when's the best time to take them? My answer is always when you're going to remember them, right? So I could say waking up at 5 a.m., which is 2 hours before you're going to eat your breakfast because you're fasting and you want to have an empty stomach, is the best time. You may not be able to always do that. So when you remember them is the best time to take them, because I'd rather you take them with some consistency and get something out of it than trying to keep to some strict schedule and you can't follow that. So that's the first answer. Second answer, though, is in general, most of your vitamins, like, your gummies, your tablets, your capsules, in general, I think should be taken on a full stomach because you mentioned the solubility. You want something to be able to absorb it. And often, if you have a fully empty stomach, it'll be irritating to drop, right? So just imagine, you have nothing on your stomach, it's just your stomach lining, and you drop a vitamin in, right? It hits the inside of your organs. So often that causes you to feel bad. You get stomach ache, discomfort, you get, nausea, all that. So I almost always, and I'm trying to rack my brain to think, is there a particular vitamin or nutrient that you absolutely have to be fasting to take? I say no. I think particularly if it's fat soluble, like your ADEC ones, like your A, your D, your E, and all that, the main vitamins that we take in a multivitamin, take it with food. I take mine at night because it's sitting on my dresser. I see it before I turn my light off at night, and I know to go ahead and take my Black Girl vitamin. So that's when I take mine.
Sorry, I was on mute for a
Yeah.
second. Can skipping meals, staying up late, or drinking more socially in the summer throw off your hormones? You kind of touched on this already. And are there supplements that can balance them out, things out?
Nope. Eating regularly, healthy meals, water, 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 and avoiding those things that you know are toxic to your body. And, we know it. We all know this. Alcohol is wonderful. I love it. I'm a social drink. I love it, right? The summertime, having a cocktail, glass of wine. I love it. But we're not supposed to be drinking all that much, right? It's not good for the sugar content, for our liver, for our kidneys, for our skin. We know it's not great. So, no, there are no magical vitamins that will replace good, healthy, balanced diets, lots of good water intake, and physical activity. The vitamins and supplements that you take are always going to be in addition to healthy habits.
Yes, ma'am. Speaking of sugar, somebody in the comment section said we often hear that we should watch our sugar intake, get the first two ingredients, and some of the vitamins are sugar. Are we having too much with the multivitamins?
Good point. So, we get this question a lot because I get a lot of people that'll catch me in the DMs and say, "Well, are there sugar-free versions?" And what was told to me by the organization was initially y'all had a lot of sugar-free alternatives. People wouldn't buy them because they didn't taste good. So it's like, what you gonna do? It's like you're darned if you do, darned if you don't. So my suggestion is if you're worried about your sugar intake, find a sugar-free alternative, right? Or just make sure that you're doing it in a non-sugary way. So making sure that you can juice on your own. You can get smoothies on your own. You can just eat a lot of good fruits and vegetables on your own. You don't have to take vitamins and things if you don't feel like you're lacking them in your diet. So that's what I'm saying. And the other thing that I've noticed, and that I went and did the research on my own was I went and got the usual regular multivitamin from over the counter, excuse me, the chewable and the gummies, and I compared them particularly to specifically to Black Girl vitamins. I turned the labels around, it's the same amount. So you're not getting any more sugar by taking a lot of the vitamins that you normally would from regular over-the-counter things. So ways to avoid that would be don't take additional vitamins or nutrients at all if you don't need them, right? If you're not anemic in iron, then you may not necessarily need to take an additional iron. If you're not B12 deficient, you may not necessarily need to take an additional B12. Just need to increase those things in your diet that you know will increase those things organically, or take capsules or swallow tablets instead of the chewable.
Great answer. What are the best ways to manage weight and feel confident in your body during menopause in the summer without extreme diets or workouts?
So a lot of this, when it comes to just weight management, which we're now calling weight maintenance nowadays, is really all internal. It really has to do with your self-esteem and your confidence level off the bat, off gate. So it's hard to rely on and be dependent upon something external or something that you're going to do or a program you're going to follow to make you feel more confident. The confidence really has to come from within. So that's number one. Number two, the more activity that you're getting, the better your fat and muscle content will balance, and hopefully you'll start to see those changes that you want to see in your body deposition. Okay. So that's a big answer because there's no program, magic pill, magic shot, surgery that's going to fix your comfort level and your confidence level with how you feel and how you look if internally you don't feel good about yourself, good about the way you look, beautiful at whatever weight, right? Unless, of course, you're having medical complications and medical problems because of it, which can happen. But if you're healthy and you
Yeah.
know, your weight shifts 10 to 15 pounds, depending on what you're doing and what your routine is, and if you're traveling a lot or not sleeping, hopefully you feel great and you have your own self-affirmation and others around you that affirm you and tell you you're beautiful. And my husband, shout out to him, no matter what, tells me I'm beautiful every day, right? So if my weight shifts a little bit on the scale, I don't cry. It's okay. It's more for him to hug. It's more for him to hold, right? So as long as I'm healthy and not suffering from blood pressure and diabetes and all that, it doesn't affect me as much when the summertime comes and I may have some extra swelling and all that. So I don't know. I want to big y'all up. You're beautiful no matter weight as long as you're healthy.
I love that. And I love that your husband hypes you up as well. That is
I hope y'all have
important.
somebody that hypes you up all the time. Yes.
That is so beautiful. This is a two different people asked about like your resources. Somebody asked, do you have a list of Black doctors for Virginia area? And then someone asked, can you give the names of good dermatologists in North Carolina? So you could probably answer those in the end if you want to.
Do me this favor for those that have those questions. Follow me on Instagram and send me a DM. Because a lot of the things I have are like listed on my phone or I posted about them on Instagram. My Instagram, by the way, is real, REAL Doc Swiner, DOCS. There you go. She put it in the chat. So real Doc Swiner. So do me a favor and shoot me a DM with those very specific questions and recommendations. And I can like send you their Instagram page or send you a list that I've made of all those things. But yeah, I have, thankfully, I'm part of a crew on Facebook called Mocha Medicine. And it's, a national group of Black female physicians. So I have a lot of colleagues in different disciplines, and we like to share and refer people to each other. And I also do by the way, I do online and virtual wellness consults. So we can always schedule a Zoom or a virtual appointment. Or if you're in North Carolina, South Carolina, or Mississippi soon, I'm licensed to practice in those other states too. So I can, diagnose and prescribe and check labs and all that good stuff. But yeah, shoot me a DM and I can get you that information. That's Stephanie. I'm your hype person. Hey, friend. You look good.
Okay. If someone's just starting to notice changes like dull skin, fatigue, or bloating this summer, what's one vitamin or self-care habit you recommend to help them glow again by fall?
So, no, just one. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna throw in a couple. I couldn't just give you just one. So self-care, of course. So that's my jam. Self-care, not being a superwoman, the superwoman complex and avoiding it, that's my jam. That's my ministry. So decreasing stress is a big one. So that's self-care habit. Whatever it is that you do daily, regularly to reduce your stress, that helps you to glow. That reduces your cortisol, which is your bad stress hormone, so that you feel better, you're more joyful, you look better, you shine, right? So that's self-care. We talked about having people to hype you up. You need that affirmation. You need that affirmation within yourself to tell yourself that you're great and you're beautiful and you're happy. And you also need people around you to tell you that you're great, you're beautiful, you're happy, to help that glow, right? To help you to have that good energy. The more you glow from the inside, literally, the more you will on the outside, because those endorphins are being released, that adrenaline's being released, right? Your dopamine is being released, all the good stuff. It will show up on your skin. You will have better blood flow, better circulation. The collagen will increase, all that good stuff will happen. So those are self-care things. If you're looking for vitamins and nutrients, glutathione, I don't know if you've heard of that. Glutathione starts with a G. It's a really good antioxidant. It's a really good cell regenerator. It helps with giving you a little boost, helps your immune system. So glutathione is a good one to look for. You can find it over the counter, find it, what I don't know if Black Girl Vitamins has one. Y'all need to make one, by the way. You need to make a glutathione supplement. But glutathione is one that I talk about a lot with my wellness patients, just to tell them about just overall good health and good energy. Ashwagandha. You may have heard me mention in other webinars. Ashwagandha is a really good one for gut health, for mood, for mental health. It's always good. And then collagen goes without saying. So increasing your external collagen level is going to increase your internal level, and that's going to help hair, skin, nails. Black Girl Vitamins has a wonderful powder you can add to your smoothie, add to your coffee every morning. I take the gummy, the chewable, and it helps to just give you that, that extra youthful glow. So those are my quick answers.
And you look good, Dr.
Thank
Swan.
you. I try.
You look good. Okay, so now I'm gonna open it up for a few minutes for our audience. Does anybody have any questions? We'll get y'all to raise your hands and then I'll call on the name of someone first. Let's see if anybody's Mr. Bora is first. So we'll get you to go first, Mr. Bora.
Hi, thank you. It's actually Deborah, but thank you.
I'm so
But she put that
sorry.
fancy Louisiana spin on it, Deborah.
I'm sorry,
Well,
Deborah.
it's absolutely fine. Thank you. I energy level advice is an issue that I'm having at this time. I was fine when I was 58, but time as I turned 59, it seemed like it just deflated.
I hear
Any
that.
advice?
Yes. So energy, that's a big topic like stress. So it depends on what you feel is depleting your energy. If it's because you are anemic, so let's say that you have low iron, low B12, low something, you want to replenish that as much as you can. With getting better with age comes fatigue. I know that as well myself. So making sure that you're getting a good amount of sleep. I know there are a lot of things that can interrupt our sleep as we go through the different phases of life. So making sure that you're addressing any issues that are getting in the way of your normal, good quality, good quantity sleep. We should all still be getting 6 to 8 hours, no matter what your age is, per night of good quality sleep, meaning hopefully you're not being awakened at 3 a.m. with sweats or with insomnia or something else happening. Hopefully you're getting good quality, good quantity sleep. And then just checking your hormone levels. So if your hormone levels are taking a plummet for some reason, even after menopause, they can still have ebbs and flows, which is unfortunate because you think, okay, well, after I've gone through the change of life, I should be like adjusted and should know my body should know how to act in this new phase. Not always. I've had unfortunately people in their 70s and 80s tell me that their hot flashes went away and then came back. So if you're having ebbs and flows of your actual hormone levels, your estrogen, your progesterone, your testosterone, you can actually get those things tested with your doctor and he or she can hopefully organically help you to replace them, or they may prescribe something to help with those symptoms specifically.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Miss Deborah. Now we're gonna have Miss Linda ask her question.
Okay, quick question for you. I take the hair, skin, and nails and collagen all together. And I also take a multivitamin, which is all Black girls, everything. Is that too much? Would I be getting too much K in there, or is it okay?
That is okay. So you said hair, skin, and nails. What else?
Collagen, right now you're out of the collagen. I cannot wait for them to get some more. Collagen for your skin and everything else. Collagen is so great for just not just one thing, but a lot of different things. And the multivitamin.
Yeah, no, you should be good because you're not overdoing it with any of those. Because the collagen doesn't have what the multivitamin has in it, and the multivitamin doesn't have what the hair, skin, and nail. It might have a little bit of what the hair, skin, and nails has in it, but you're not gonna overkill. So no, you should be good to go. And you can always, when you do your checkups and your physical exams, your doctor can always check your labs and make sure you're not doing too much with vitamin D and B12 and vitamin K and all that. So if you're ever concerned, you can always have your labs checked.
Yeah, I went to my doctor and he looked at me. He asked me what was I using, and I said, I'm just a natural vitamins. He said, well, your skin looks great. I was
Yeah.
like, he said, you don't need to use all that. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna stop.
You want to maintain. That's right.
Kidding me. Gotta be kidding me. I'm like, you want me to stop?
No, not if it's not harming you and you look great. Keep going.
I mean, my skin has never been dry. and nor orally. It's just been normal, and it hasn't stopped doing it. I mean, because I've been taking it for so long.
That's a blessing. Good.
So, thank you.
Welcome.
That is such a blessing. Thank you, Miss Linda. All right, now we'll have Marlo. Am I saying that right, Miss Marlo?
You're on mute if you're talking. Did we lose her?
Yes,
Okay, I'm here.
Okay.
So yes, that is how you pronounce my name is Ladea. I hope I pronounced yours right. You were talking about that you're licensed in some of these other states. Are you licensed in Colorado?
I'm not, but I can still give recommendations. So even if I'm not licensed in your area, and by license, that just means I can diagnose, I can prescribe, I can send
Right.
stuff to the pharmacy and all that. But even if I'm not licensed in your area, I can still give a lot of recommendations that then we can formulate into an action plan, then you take back to your primary care. So that's how I do it
Okay.
with other folks. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
So you can hit me up on Instagram and I can tell you how we can, get together on that if needed.
Okay. Absolutely. I will do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. There was another question. Um, so as far as the collagen, if I'm not taking any of the other vitamins, due to the sugar, um, I have been taking the D3, the sugarless one. Um, but is that okay with, doing those two without doing the other vitamins?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
Because nothing in those two are going to counteract with one another. So that's okay. Collagen and vitamin D together is fine.
But is that enough?
What's your goal? Your end goal?
Um, to lose weight.
Okay.
That's one thing. And with this darn menopause,
hmm
um,
So collagen is supposed to help with good weight management along with the other things, right? So the other
okay,
balanced diet, hydration, and
right,
working out. Um, so it all depends on if you're feeling the difference. Only you can say whether it's really helping or not because you know whether you're getting the results out of it that you want. And with mentioned menopause, is it helping you to feel better? If it's not, then you may have to switch to something different. Have you been able to tell well, even more important question is how long have you been taking the collagen and the vitamin D?
I actually haven't been taking the collagen yet.
Okay.
I'm going to start. But I've been doing the vitamin D3 for, oh goodness, I want to say about 3 months.
Perfect. Yeah. So what I would do, if I were seeing you in practice, what I would do is I would check your level to see where your vitamin D level is, and that'll
Okay.
tell me if you're taking enough. And if your vitamin D is normal and you're still not feeling the results that you want to feel, then we know it's not because of the vitamin D. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the collagen hopefully will give you, if you're looking to support your weight management goals, if you're looking for something that helps a little bit with like what we call satiety or feeling more full more soon, the
Mhm.
collagen may help with that as well. Feeling,
Okay. Because I do also take a weight loss pill. I take Phentermine,
yeah,
which does, curb my appetite and helps me to feel fuller.
full, right, right.
So should I still be taking that and the collagen or?
Yeah, because then the collagen also has the other, hair, skin, and nail benefits
Okay, which I need as well.
and digestion, which the
Okay.
Phentermine sometimes can kick off. So,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. Perfect.
welcome.
Thank you, Miss Marlo.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll have Miss Khadijah C.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. I just had a question about um about bloating. So I think I had wrote in the chat, I think it was a private message though, but I was saying that I haven't reached the menopause stage yet. I'm 31, but I've been bloating a lot.
Mhm.
I went ahead and got all the vitamins I thought I needed, as far as like iron, probiotics, hair, skin, and nails, the collagen powder, and I take them all together. And then the vitamin as well.
Yeah.
And it helped a little bit as far as like the probiotic,
Yeah.
but as far as like my bloating going down, but I still feel it still like something's just there. So I was saying that I was going to do like a colon cleanse and a parasitic cleanse. And I
Okay.
was asking your like, what would you advise me to do as far as that?
Yeah. So bloating, particularly in your stomach, you mean?
Yes, ma'am.
And does it depend on what you eat, or is it all the time?
Um, all the time. It used to. It have in the past where my stomach would like hurt chronically, and I didn't. I went to the doctor and everything. They couldn't find anything.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point it stopped, and so now it's just like whenever
Yeah.
it's just bloated. In my family, they asked me if I was pregnant. I was like, no,
Yeah,
it's
right.
just bloated.
So yeah, so if it's specifically GI and you're, I'm assuming, you went to your primary, your regular doctor, and they hopefully checked things like your thyroid and gluten allergy. Did they check, hopefully they did a full workup for things that can cause
Mhm.
unwanted water weight or water retention. But if it's
Mhm.
specifically GI, you can actually see a GI specialist, a stomach doctor, and they can talk to you about what things might be affecting your digestion that is causing some of the bloating. Or like you mentioned it, well, you said you're in your 30s, so you're probably not in the menopausal, premenopausal, perimenopausal phase, although unfortunately for Black women, sometimes we start that early. So sometimes it is
Mhm.
our actual hormone levels. So if you didn't already get things checked, like your estrogen and progesterone, you may still want to add that on just to see where you are in your phase of life. But probiotics was a great idea. So I would stick with the probiotics. And you might have to kind of figure out, you might keep a diary of saying, okay, well, today I ate this, and maybe I didn't feel as much bloating as I did on this day when I ate that. So you can maybe identify what things in your diet may trigger you. For
Mhm.
me, it's ground beef. I know that when I have a big hearty burger, I'm going to feel it the next day versus if I have some seafood, The other thing is salt. Are you watching your salt intake?
I'm not.
Yeah.
But I when I cook, I know I don't put much salt in there. And then
Yeah.
when I buy things like if I go to the grocery store, I do check the salt content.
Good.
But when it comes to like me eating out, no.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to control that when you eat out. So yeah, so I would try those couple of things. You might even talk to a GI specialist specifically to see if they can do further testing.
Mhm.
You can try the colon cleanse and see if that helps. It's probably only going to help for a little bit, a little while, because then you're going to go back to your regular habits. Um, so yeah, those would be the brief. That would be a brief list of things that I would look into. But the probiotics are a great idea, so I would stick with that.
Okay, and another quick question. What is your take on eating for your blood type? Do you think that works?
Yeah, I mean, I have people that swear by it. You know, what works for different people works for different people. Everybody is going to be different. You can try it out. I've never really, to be honest, I need to do more research about that. But I've had many people and patients to come to me to say that they bought the book, they live by it, die by it, and it's really helped change their life. So you can, always try it and see if it makes a difference for you and see if
Okay.
it's worth it. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Khadijah. And I just got word that that is our final question. I'm so sorry. This will be
You can
recorded.
always reach out to me.
Yes, I was about to say, I was about to say this is recorded. It'll be up on our YouTube and also Dr. Swiner's Instagram. You can reach out to her through Instagram. And we thank you so much, Dr. Swiner, for all of your knowledge and all of the gems that you just dropped on us. We appreciate you and we just love you so much. Thank you for being one of our medical advisors. You are why we exist, because it's nothing like a Black medical
Oh,
position.
and one more question.
And we have a special surprise, y'all. Special surprise, 20% off all our products if you use the code SummerGlow20. That is SummerGlow20. So make sure you all get your 20% off on all of our products today. You all get it because y'all in this webinar. It's only lasts 24 hours only. So thank y'all so much for being a part of this webinar today. We sure appreciate you, and I'm gonna let Dr. Swiner end it off.
Yeah, thank y'all so much. Like I said, Real Doc Swiner on Instagram. I also have a Facebook page under the same Doc Swiner name. Shoot me a DM, shoot me a message. Black Girl Vitamins is always incredible with doing great community education. I love the family vibe and the community that you all are building, so I'm very happy about that. As a secret, when you DM me, I will give you a second discount code. Don't tell them I told you that. I will give you another one too. But use this one and then hit me up. But I'm really happy to be here, and I love the community we're building, and I just want y'all to be well.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Thank